Hi guys, today I have a holiday look tutorial that is of this look, which is a trendy, kind of runway inspired glossy lids look. High shine metallic lids paired with a nude lip. It's a classic combination, but the glossy lids kind of takes it up a notch. So if you'd like to see how to create this look, just keep watching. So first I'm going to prime my eyes, which I would never ever skip, and I always use the Urban Decay Primer Potion, and I use the Eden color because I love that it cancels out eyelid discoloration, veins, all those fun things. I really haven't used a clear eye primer in years because usually if you want your shadows to be their truest color, and you have any sort of imperfection on your eyelid, you're going to want to cancel that out. And I know some people use concealer, but I find concealer, at least cream concealers, to be way too sticky, and then they kind of cause your eyeshadow brush to like stick and drag on the eyelid. So I've just had extremely good luck with the Urban Decay Primer Potion, and I've never felt the need to stray away from it. Next I'm going to do something totally different for me, which is to use a stick foundation. I have very dry skin, so I made sure to really moisturize well today. This is the NYX Mineral Stick Foundation. I had a hard time finding the right color because my skin tone's pretty yellow, and in the store, even the ones that looked like they would be yellow, when I swatched them, they were still so pink. So I ended up having to go with golden beige, so it looks like it could be a little dark. I did put some self-tanner on today in preparation for this. I'm going to apply it first, and then I'm going to blend it out with my Real Techniques Miracle Complexion Sponge. So I'm going to kind of concentrate it on where I need the most coverage first, which is, you know, kind of in the center of my face. Definitely on my nose. My nose is just always kind of red. I don't know what the deal is. It's blending out pretty nice, although, you know, I do think if you have dry skin, stick foundations can sometimes just be difficult because your skin is so dry. It's trying to grab onto any moisture it can find, and I totally am jealous of oily skin people because you can use your skin's natural oils to help blend in product. Your skin always looks dewy. You be thankful, oily skin girls. It is blending out really nicely. I do think it's not as full of coverage as I thought it would be though for being a stick foundation. I mean, I still see these little scars from where I had a blemish, which I'm kind of surprised. Okay, now we are ready for concealer. This is my favorite concealer ever. It is the Urban Decay Naked Skin. It does not crease in the under eye area. It has super high coverage. It's cruelty free. A little goes a long way. I mean, I don't really have any problems with it, and that's why I use it on my freelance clients too. So I'm going to make kind of a big triangle under my eyes. I do like to really brighten up this area. My under eye circles are pretty purple and they need a lot of coverage. So I make that fan shape, and then I kind of just take what's left and go over the other highlight areas on my face. And since that foundation didn't give me a ton of coverage, not as much as I, usually get, I am going to probably use this concealer to kind of add that extra layer that I need/want. I'm going to use the pointed end now of my Real Techniques Miracle Complexion Sponge and blend this out. And I'm going to set with the highlights from the Lorac Pro Contour Palette. One of the best contour palettes I've tried. I do have pretty yellow skin, but I'm going to mix a little bit of the beige and yellow highlight together. And Lorac does suggest mixing, so totally go for that. I'm going to just make sure there are no creases, and then set that whole under eye area. I'm setting the other highlight areas now with a mix of those highlight powders. So I'm setting with the Tarte Smooth Operator. I really like this powder. It's got the Amazonian clay in it, so I feel like it really helps to control oil. It mattifies, doesn't ever look powdery. Okay, now we're ready to contour. I'm going to grab my Lorac Pro Contour Palette again. Most people can use the medium. Some days I'm more of the light. If I haven't done self-tanner, I'm going to use the medium today though. And I'm going to dip into this with my Real Techniques contour brush. I want to dab it off because this powder is really high pigment. Little goes a long way, so I'm gonna just go in my usual contour areas. You always want to remember to blend up instead of blending downwards. That's going to drag your cheek down. We're trying to give the appearance of uplifted, higher cheekbones. Something that I kind of did incorrectly in the beginning was to, you know, blend down too much when I actually end up going in and kind of taking away anything underneath there. Another tip, I've probably said this before, but it's worth saying again. To make sure you're not getting too hard of a line or applying too much product, move your hand down your brush handle to where you're almost holding the very, very end. Sometimes you'll realize you're holding a brush, you know, more like a pencil, and that's just going to make those bristles, you know, kind of get squished. It's not gonna make the most of what the brush is doing, which is distributing the pigment with the bristles. Let the bristles do the work for you. This has a little grippy thing for a reason at the end, so I try to remember to hold my brush in that zone. So I zoomed in a little bit for the nose contour part, and I am going to start here at the top. So I am going to take it down really, really lightly. And I'm probably going to soften this up in the end anyways. So I'm going to kind of re-highlight down the bridge of the nose. I'm going to grab a smaller eyeshadow brush to do that and grab that yellow here because my nose is still kind of red. I don't know what the deal is. And I think the yellow is going to help to tone that down a bit. So I'm dipping back into the Lorac Pro Contour. I'm going to grab the shimmer highlight. So for blush, I'm going to grab a blush from Tarte. This blush is, I believe, called Exposed. Mine is depotted because it's in my freelance kit, but I'm grabbing it for this tutorial because when I do a really smoky eye and a nude lip, I don't like the cheeks to be too pink because I feel like then we've got three elements that are really kind of competing for attention. So I like to keep more of a nude blush, I guess, and this is one of my favorite go-to nude blush colors. So I'm grabbing a generous amount because it's nude, it's not gonna be a super bright color when you lay it down. And I'm gonna apply this with my Heavenly Luxe Wand Ball Powder. I've never noticed the name of this blush brush, but it's from IT Cosmetics and it's a gorgeous synthetic brush that applies blush really, really pretty. You would never know that this was synthetic fibers because it grabs pigment and diffuses it out as though it's animal hair. So I love IT Cosmetics for engineering their brushes to be cruelty-free, but totally perform like animal hair. So as you can see, this blush I'm building a lot because it's not extremely severe color, which I like. You can really take your time and check it. I like to, you know, alternate between cheek to cheek and then, you know, step back, make sure you aren't getting too crazy with it. So I normally would not do my lips at this stage, but I really can't stand looking at like my foundation mouth any longer, so I'm just gonna do it now. I'm gonna do it live, as Bill O'Reilly would say. So I am grabbing a NYX lip liner first. I'm looking for the color because I've used it a lot and it's worn off, but I believe this is called Nude Beige, and it's just is what it sounds like. It's really nude beige lip liner. So I'm going to line first. I am using this Essence lip color. This is one of their long-lasting lipsticks. The color is called Cool Nude. I was looking for a nude, but I really don't like nude colors that are what I call mouth erasers, where it's essentially concealer. So this is a nude color, but it has enough to, you know, retain your mouth's color, especially in photos. So like, if you're doing this look for New Year's Eve, you know, super, super nude lip, it's not gonna photograph that well. In real life, it might look okay, but in a photo, it can look kind of weird. Okay, the next step is something else I'm tired of looking at so I'm gonna fill in my eyebrows because I don't want to look at them like this any longer. I am using the Anastasia Brow Powder Duo. The color I use is medium brown, and I'm just gonna fill in my eyebrows with a stiff angled brush. I used to start on the underside. Now I start with the tail. It's kind of like something that's been constantly evolving, my brow routine. They are a work in progress. Now my favorite part, the eyes, also the most detailed, so I've zoomed in a little bit. I am going to start out with matte colors from the IT Cosmetics Naturally Pretty palette. So this is a really versatile palette with all matte colors in it. So we are going to be doing metallic eyes, but I don't like when any look is all shimmery. Sometimes that's just too overwhelming, so I almost always am gonna put some matte in there. Okay, I'm gonna use this IT Cosmetics crease brush. Again, it is synthetic fibers, but it performs like animal hair. I'm really impressed with it. And I'm going to be doing a, gunmetal, very metallic, chrome colored eye, but I don't like when something's like all cool colored either. So I'm gonna warm it up by grabbing the colors Warmth and Sunrise. I'm gonna kind of mix those two in the crease. So I'm going to grab Noir. It's black, just matte black. I'm going to take a small smudge brush and place that on the very outer corner. One thing I really like about these shadows in this Naturally Pretty palette are that they really don't have a lot of fallout at all. And I mean, this is a rich black color, and with a lot of other shadows, this would be all over my face. To give this look a little more dimension, the second color I'm going to grab is Midnight, which is kind of a muted navy color. And since the chrome metallic shadow that I'm going to use does have kind of a blue undertone, this is going to be a nice addition to the look. So same thing, placing with a smaller brush, then softening and blending out with a blending brush. And while I have that midnight color, I want to drag that along the lower lash line too. I think that'll be really pretty. So I'm going to kind of concentrate it on from the outer corner to kind of connect up here to kind of just past my iris. I'm not going to bring it all the way into the inner corner. I'm going to add a little warmth on that lower lash line by grabbing some of that color called Warmth from the same Naturally Pretty palette and just drag that underneath. So it's finally time for the metallic part. I am going to use a NYX Prismatic shadow. The color is called Smoke and Mirrors, and it is a metallic charcoal shadow. I have not used these before, so I'm not sure if I want to use them wet or dry. I'm going to apply it dry first with a synthetic brush, and I'm going to use a pressing motion. I'm not going to sweep it around, but it's really pretty. It definitely has that blue undertone, which I have found makes gray tones much more wearable if you're somebody that has a hard time wearing those cool gray tones like me. For some reason, when it's got a little blue in it, it makes it much more flattering. But this is going on really nice dry. I don't see any fallout really. It's got great pigment, so I'm not having to layer to get color. I'm just layering because I do want this to end up looking really, really high shine metallic. So I might wet this brush too, but I don't need to for color payoff. These are really nice. Okay, I'm gonna wet my brush with a setting spray. This is NYX Dewy Finish setting spray. I really like this one. They do have a matte one as well. I've tried that, and for some reason I think it smells like glue, and this one doesn't. So just gonna spray twice. And I'm going to dip it back into the Prismatic shadow. And just see if we can get a little more of a pop of shine, mainly on the center of the lid. So I want to keep that inner corner of the eye bright. So I'm going to take a smaller brush, wet it again with the setting spray, and then I'm going to dip back in to the Naturally Pretty palette, and I'm going to grab Transforming Pearl again. And I'm just going to place that on the inner corner. And I like this because it's not like bright white, but it's still going to grab and reflect the light in a really nice flattering way. Okay, time for some liner. I'm going to use two different liners, one on my waterline and one on the top lash line. So for my waterline, I am using IT Cosmetics No-Tug Gel Eyeliner. Exactly what it says. It really doesn't tug. It lasts really nicely. It's kind of a gel consistency. And I like to use like a sponge like this to pull down my lower lash line so I don't touch my under eye concealer and mess that up. The oils from your fingers could easily touch that area and then you have to fix it. And I do like to tightline as well, especially if I'm going to do shadow or do liner on my top lash line because I don't want there to be any gaps. So I'm going to lift up my top lid and just quickly do this. Right, for our top lash line, you may know or not know, but I'm definitely a winged liner type of person. I just don't feel quite myself when it's not winged out. So I'm going to create that winged line, and I'm going to do that with the Tarteist Clay Paint Liner. I'm going to use two different mascaras for my top and bottom lashes. I actually always do this. I'm not trying to be difficult. For my bottom lashes, which I'm going to do first, and I'll tell you why, I'm going to use the Tightline mascara. Well, it's kind of, I don't know if IT Cosmetics considers this a mascara, but it's meant for your upper lash line to tightline, but I already did that, and it's got a teeny tiny little brush. I'm going to use it on my lower lash line for that reason. I love the brush for the lower lashes. I'm using it on the lower lashes, and I'm doing that first because if I were to look up to do my lower lashes and I had already done my top lashes and they were still wet, they could transfer. So everything I do is to pretty much minimize cleanup. For my top lashes, I am using the Urban Decay Perversion mascara. It describes itself as bigger, blacker, badder, and I do love that it's super black. That's one of my favorite things about it. These eyelashes are the Allure Natural Lights, so they are meant to look more natural, but they have really pretty wispies. I'm going to use NYX's Lid Lacquer, and this is the clear one. They do have a black one as well. So this is going to give my lids more of that metallic high shine look. It feels like a clear lip gloss, and I'm kind of wondering if you could use that, but I'm going to dab it just on the center of my lid with my finger. It looked really cool. I mean, it looks exactly like I wanted it to. I'm trying to keep it on the lower part of the lid because if it gets anywhere near that crease, it's going to crease, but it is very high shine, glossy lid look. I'm going to use BareMinerals Marvelous Moxie. This is the color Sparkplug, just a really nice nude. It's been around forever. Our high shine metallic lid look is complete. I do really like how this came out. This was the first time I'd used a lot of the products shown in this video. I know this eye gloss is going to be kind of a, impractical thing, but I'm going to take some cool photos. That's kind of what it's all about. It's very high fashion, not, street ready. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful holiday season, and I'll be back with more holiday makeup tutorials, of course. Bye-bye.